Now joined by this year's winner of the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park, Scott McLaughlin, driving the number 3 Good Ranchers Team Penske Chevrolet. First win of the season, 4th of his career, is now the 4th different winner of the 2023 NTT IndyCar Series season. And Scott also with the win, jumps up to 4th place in points now, heading into the GMR Grand Prix in a couple of weeks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course, just 11 points back of the championship, still being led by Marcus Ericsson. So a lot of storylines for you in this race, but to get a win here, I know you've been chomping at the bit. It's got to feel good.
Oh, it feels awesome, Dave. I think we have had the pace. Obviously, St. Pete, we were strong, contending for wins. Maybe not Texas, but Long Beach, we were right there. But I'm really proud to sort of execute today. It's probably the most complete race I've ever driven in IndyCar, to be honest. From a strategy perspective, picking people off when, it was getting pretty tough there in the middle when we're making passes and lap traffic and whatnot. And then, ultimately when Grosjean got me out of the pits, it didn't catch me by surprise. He caught me napping. It was a great move by him. And sort of just to reset, go again, and then pass him back with the pace that we had. That's sort of a really proud drive for me and personally. But from a team perspective, really proud. Good Ranchers' first time on the car. They're going to be big supporters in IndyCar. The enthusiasm that they've got for the series, I think it's just great. They've got people like that willing to spend money in our series and that are so passionate. They didn't have customers here this weekend. They had their staff and the CEO, and it's a good vibe. So really proud for them, and just perfect way to kick off what's going to be a massive month.
The battle between you and Roman there, immediately everyone was thinking, okay, St. Pete, you guys are.
I knew it.
Battling one. What was going through your mind as you're trying to hold him off?
Well, I knew if I hit him this time, it would be bad. But no, I thought we were racing, just like we normally do, very clean. It was hard. I knew it was going to be hard passing him. It was a matter of me just sort of biding my time, and eventually. I asked the guys, where are we at on fuel? And we had a bit more than him, so it allowed me to pressure him a bit more and maybe use a bit more than I want. Bit more overtake and whatever. I had a lot more overtake up my sleeve. So ultimately, that's what helped me pass him. I think the way I got that run up into turn 8 was purely by push to pass, and I was able to save that. And once we got in front, it was just a matter of managing it to the end.
I guess this is the next level question, but when that battle is happening, you're going to have the fresher tires at the end of the day, and would have an opportunity later on in that stint to make a move and try to repass him.
Yeah, but it was hard. I thought I'd be on the safe side when I had the reds on in second last stint, and I thought I might have been able to get him back, but he had great pace, and I knew that I couldn't sit behind him too long. I had to pressure him, and that's what we did and managed to get past.
All right, let's take some questions off. If you have a question here, let's start. Go ahead, sir, please.
Hey, Scott, congratulations. Just wanted to ask you about racing here at Alabama and this track specifically, Barber Motorsports. I know the state's kind of known for being a NASCAR state, but the facilities are A1, and just wanted to get your take on what it's like racing out there.
Yeah, personally, I think this is probably our best road course that we go to, especially now. It's my favorite. So, but honestly, it's a great place. The state of Alabama do a fantastic job with, how they look after things. Obviously, the private owners before that built a beautiful place. I remember coming here for the first time going, wow, this is amazing. But to drive an IndyCar around here at very high speeds and high commitment is some of the best driving you'll ever do. And I'm telling all my friends back in Australia, like Shane Van Gisbergen and people that you're asking, the track looks awesome. I'm like, this is like next level commitment. And they've got a gym here. I'm very excited that they extended the contract to multi-year for more races here. Especially now, I know I've got a good car, so it's a very, very, very cool place.
And I know in Indy, the Indy 500, if you win, you douse yourself in milk. I saw you breaking out the Nestle drumsticks after. Is that a tradition? Can you talk about that?
No, we just have John Hasley. He's been there for like 40 years. He always has ice creams especially after we win. But I had an ice cream after qualifying yesterday, and I sucked. So maybe I just need more ice cream.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Chris, go ahead.
Obviously, with a new sponsor, the stakes are pretty high. But when Grosjean gets past you, what's your level of frustration? And are you thinking in the back of your head, with everything that happened at St. Pete, with all the fallout, that if there's going to be major contact, that it's not going to go as nicely this time around?
Never thought that. I ultimately was just like, okay, well, he got past me, he caught me napping. And that was a great move by him. But I knew I had car pace and fuel on hand. I think ultimately I would have got past him anyway, just with how much he had to save fuel and stuff. So I wasn't stressed. I was annoyed that I probably could have just cost myself maybe just cruising in some ways and saving fuel and driving to my number. But ultimately, it made the race win a lot more satisfying, passing for the lead after being passed at the end of the exchange.
Power was on reds at the end. He was gaining quite a bit of time until the last bit. We got caught behind Roman. Does his pace concern you at all, being up front or not?
No. I was full in like control. Honestly, I felt like the car was so good. I was just hitting my number, did what I needed to do. And I knew if Power sort of got to me, if he did get to me, like I had pace in hand and fuel in hand to, push to the end.
Last one for me. You were asked to switch fuel maps, I think, on the last lap. You got a bit scared there and concerned on the radio. Yeah. Did they tell you why afterwards?
No, I think we're just looking after our engine. But whenever you get that call in the last lap, halfway through the last lap, you poop your pants a little bit. So yeah, I was pretty nervous.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Let's take a couple off Zoom. David Turner, Racing World. Go ahead with Scott McLaughlin.
Thanks very much, Dave. Well, Scott, it's the start of May here in New Zealand because we're a day ahead of you. So
True.
That's a great way to kick off the month of May. So well done. From my point of view, I just want to know, when you are running on a different strategy to, say, the two stoppers were, and the race starts to play itself out, how much in your mind are you going, gee, I hope we made the right move here, or we should have gone the other way?
Yeah, Dave, I don't really, I just trust my team. I don't have any, the only concern I had was why we stopped so a couple laps after Joseph and we lost track position on him, but we eventually sort of caught up and basically passed him. So I wasn't too stressed about that. It was just a matter of just maximizing what I had and what my cards were, and that was getting through traffic and using our car pace. And we had talked about that in a strategy meeting this morning, and sort of knew what I had to do. So you just at the end of the day, I see a tenth of what everyone else sees on the stand. So I know that, I've got the best guys in pit lane, call on my strategy. So I just trust them, and it's a boring answer, but it legitimately for me, I was just ticking laps off in my head and driving as fast as I can, exactly to what I needed to do.
No, it's a cool answer. Thank you. You'll be pleased to know I heard from your dad. He said that was a pretty cool race, wasn't it? So I would assume he's quite happy right now.
I'm sure he is. He's probably having a beer. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning.
And then to round it off, because we'll see you next week, the Bus Bros care package is now fully sorted, and the chocolate fish for you and Dave are both in there.
Thank you. No worries.
Okay. Well done today, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
And that's what I wanted to hear, David. Thank you for that. Let's go to Nathan Brown from the Indianapolis Star. Nathan.
Hey there, Scott. Congrats on your win today.
Thanks, man.
When we had Romain in here a couple minutes earlier, I asked him just to kind of describe whether you guys had any contact in either of those two passes for the proverbial lead. Did you feel anything? How close did you guys come to touching, or did you guys touch in either of those?
I think we touched when he passed me a little bit, but it was fair game. It was awesome racing, man. It was exactly what IndyCar was. Ain't no procession here, that's for sure. So it was a lot of fun.
I know you've been asked already a little bit about St. Pete and coming out after that. My question, I guess, is maybe just a little bit different. When you have had an incident like you guys had in St. Pete, racing wheel to wheel through a corner, do you have to approach either when you're passing someone or when you're passing someone else any different, or do you learn something from that type of an incident to help better prepare you to pass that specific driver coming into another situation that was a little bit similar today twice?
No. Just play your cards as you get dealt. Take risks where you need to. You got to learn from your mistakes, obviously. We've both had our opinions on the incident from St. Pete, and we're over it now. But for me, it was just, and I think for him as well, it was just press on. And yeah, I think we showed today that it's like there's no beef there. It's just hard racing, and we'll race each other to every bit of the track and use each other up when we need to. And that's just part of it, and that's why I enjoy racing Roman.
What did you see kind of from your vantage point when you made your move in turn 5? What did you see? Was it just his little bit of a wiggle coming through here? Were you just did you find yourself at that point just kind of waiting for him to make a mistake, to make a move? Had you decided coming in there that you were going to try and make that there? Kind of take me through that race winning pass.
No, I was pushing. I was pressuring him. I knew he was starting to save fuel and stuff, so I just had to. I was biding my time, but it really was surprised. I didn't think I was going to pass him at that point, but sort of just took my chance. I had a lot more push to pass than he did, so I just used push to pass all the way up into 7, and managed to clear him. He was never going to sort of pass me into 8, and if he did pass me into 8, he was going to probably crash me. So just hope that to God that he didn't do that, and he didn't, and we got out of there and pressed on.
And one last question for me. I know it seems like from how you've spoken about racing Roman over the last couple months that you guys have a lot of respect. I know you came into the sport at the same time, went through your rookie season ups and downs at the same time. I know there are some drivers in the series that aren't always happy to be racing next to him, but you seem like, even though you guys did have that incident in St. Pete, seem like you guys have a lot of respect and aren't afraid to bang wheels, and have a lot of trust in each other. How do you view, or how would you describe Roman as a competitor on track?
He's just he's got a never give up attitude, and I think that's why he's been in F1 for so long, and then he's come over here and been quite successful. At the end of the day, it's you're going to have a hard battle with him, but I feel like it's give or take. You can give him, a really you give him if you give him nothing, he will give you nothing. It's all tit for tat, and I really enjoy racing him. There's no hard feelings. We spoke about what happened, and just get on with it. I've had great battles with him. I actually really enjoyed the battle today. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, I came on top, so I enjoyed it even more. But it's still a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
No worries.
More in person. Patrick, go ahead.
We've had a wide variety of races this year. I mean, from saying St. Pete was a brawl. I mean, there was a parking lot of like 9 cars down there in turn 4. The big oval at Texas is another interesting race. Can you talk about how you approach it when you don't have any idea really what you're going to get every time you come to a racetrack? I mean, today was kind of straightforward, but strategy.
Yeah. I think it's just the product of IndyCar. You play your cards how you're dealt. I mean, today could have been a 2-stop, as you saw, or it could have been a 3-stop like we did. We thought 3-stop was the right way, but it's great that we have the opportunity as a series to change that up, and that's why it makes it so exciting. I think the addition of push to pass and stuff going on as well is a good thing, and it's such a good racing product. It's just I don't know how to explain. I think we're very lucky with the level of drivers, how hard we can race the cars. The cars are very strong, and the difference in compounds that the tires are very good. I mean, Firestone built a really good tire that's able to race in hard conditions all the time. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's just IndyCar. It's not about winning every race in this racing series. It's all about just being consistent in the championship, and that's exactly sort of what our goal has been since the start.
Just to follow up on that, but like your planning meeting, your strategy meeting can't be very. I mean, you got to write everything in pencil. I mean, because is that how that goes? Hey, here's what we think we might be able to do, but we end up throwing that away after.
Yeah, it all depends on yellows. If there was an early yellow, our thing probably wouldn't have worked that well. 2-stoppers would have looked really good. So yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, it's you just got to play your cards how you think they're going to be right, and hopefully it comes off.
Thank you.
Thanks. And you can't beat car pace. That's the best thing. You can't beat car pace. That's the best part.
Go ahead and wrap it up for now. We've got some other stuff for you.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, Scott McLaughlin.